Today is February 26, 2025, and this is a meeting of the City County Subcommittee. Welcome all members and guests. The committee will be in order. And will the clerk open the roll, please? Will every member rest of their presence, please? Madam Clerk, take the roll.
Mr. Chairman, you have 5 members present. You have a quorum.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Do any of the members wish to recognize any guests or do we have any personal orders for today? Seeing none, we'll get right to work on our calendar. The first bill is House Bill 1338 by Leader Lamberth.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. I believe Representative McCallum is at the podium and you are presenting House Bill 1338. You're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My hair does not look nearly as good as Leader Lambert's. I'll put that on record.
On the bill, sir. On the bill.
I couldn't resist. I'm so sorry. Members, what this bill does, it's coming to us from the comptroller. Essentially, it makes government work better by ensuring local governments are responsible taxpayer dollars when issuing a heightened debt risk. The bill mandates comptroller approval for local governments issuing heightened risk debt, including debt with put options, loans with variable interest rates, or interest rate reset provisions. Bill also categorizes municipal energy authorities as local governments, ensuring that municipal energy authorities are subject to the same oversight and approval requirements as other local governments when issuing heightened risk debt. Lastly, the bill updates the balloon indebtedness law to exclude certain new federal lending programs from the definition of balloon indebtedness, removing them from the balloon indebtedness law's approval requirements. And with that, I stand ready for questions. And if there are any questions for the comptroller's office, they are here to grace you with their presence if needed. So,
thank you for the explanation. Do any members have questions about this bill? Without objection, is there objection to the question? Hearing no objection, we are voting on House Bill 1338. Moving to the next available calendar of state and local government. Please open the voting board. Members cast their vote. Has every member voted? Does any member wish to change their vote? Madam Clerk, take the vote.
Mr. Chairman, you have 6 ayes and 0 noes.
The ayes prevail. House Bill 1338 moves to the next available calendar, state and local government. Next bill on today's calendar is House Bill 375 by Deputy Speaker Zachary. We have a motion and a second. You're recognized on the bill, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and committee. Members, the legislative.
And I believe you have an amendment.
I do, yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. I apologize. 3651.
Is there a motion and a second on Amendment 3651? We have a motion and a second. You're recognized on the amendment, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and committee. Members, the amendment does make the bill. Members, to be clear, the legislative intent of this bill is transparency. Simple, straightforward. There's 3 sections of the bill. The only reason there's 3 sections of the bill is that because it covers all aspects of local government. It's a fairly short bill that does 3 things. And I'm just going to read directly from the bill. Each department, agency, or official of a county who assesses and collects a fee related to development in excess of $250 shall maintain documentation describing the justification and cost basis of such fee. Again, transparency. And for those who were curious about the definition of cost basis per legal, cost basis is the rationale for charging a fee in a certain amount, particularly whether the amount of the fee is offset of a particular cost to government. So that's the definition of cost basis. So that's the first thing the bill does. Second thing the bill does, it simply requires locals to maintain this information and then provide that information upon request. Locals are not required to do anything else with that information. And then finally, Mr. Chairman and committee, it subjects this information to an audit from the comptroller on an annual basis. Those are 3 things the bill does. Be glad to answer any questions.
Thank you, Ms. Sponsor. Is there discussion or questions on the amendment? Seeing none, all in favor of amendment 3651, say aye. Aye. Opposed, say no. The ayes prevail. Amendment is on the bill, sir. Are there any other questions on House Bill 375 as amended?
Question on bill.
Is there objection to the question? Hearing no objection, we're voting on House Bill 375 as amended. Will the clerk open the voting board? Members, please cast their vote. Has every member voted? Does any member wish to change their vote? Madam Clerk, take the vote.
Mr. Chairman, you have 7 ayes and 0 noes.
The ayes prevail. House Bill 375 as amended moves to the next available calendar of state and local government. The next bill on our calendar is House Bill 98 by Chairman Hicks. Is there a motion? We have a motion and a second. Chairman Hicks, you're recognized on House Bill 98, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and committee. House Bill 98 will allow the state to increase the maximum state matching funds for our human resource agencies from $370,000 to $150,000, which it currently is.
You've heard the explanation. Is there questions? Is this permissive?
It is,
Chairman?
sir. That is correct.
Is there objection to the question? Hearing no objection, we are voting on House Bill 98 moving forward to the next available calendar, state and local government. Madam Clerk, open the voting board. Members, please cast your vote. Has every member voted? Does any member wish to change their vote? Madam Clerk, take the vote.
Mr. Chairman, you have 7 ayes and 0 noes.
The ayes prevail. House Bill 98 moves to the next available calendar of state and local government. Next bill is House Bill 1173 by Chairman Williams. Without objection, we'll roll House Bill. You saw him? Without objection, we'll roll House Bill 1173 to the heel. Hearing no objection, 1173 is rolled to the heel. Next bill is House Bill 652 by Vice Chairman Hicks, and he has asked that bill be taken off notice. Without objection, so ordered. The next bill is House Bill 317 by Chairman Rudd. Motion and a second. Chairman Rudd, you're recognized on House Bill 317.
Thank you, Chairman, committee. This is it's a fairly simple bill. What it's doing is reforming the BZA to improve transparency to the public and the appeal process. What the bill basically does is very simple. It does 2 basic things. Number one, it changes from may to shall the requirement to keep minutes. And so that if people are going to appeal, there will be minutes and proof of action, which are not always required now and not always available during the appeal process. The other is the bill requires that the local body provide rules to govern. Right now, most of the BZAs don't even have written rules to the public to know how they govern the organization and its procedures. So that's basically what it does. It improves accountability and transparency, makes them keep minutes, makes them have rules for the committee, and that the way it makes the appeals process easier for the public.
Okay, you've heard it. Members, you've heard the explanation. Representative Mitchell, you're recognized, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Representative Rudd, we discussed your bill earlier, and you talked about a provision that the members of the BZA would have to explain their votes. Is that still in there?
It's in this bill now, but it's going to be.
Chairman Rudd, you're recognized, sir.
I'm sorry. Yeah, it's going to be taken out.
Okay. So I got your word, it's coming out.
Yes. If it didn't, I'll bring it back.
Any other questions, comments? Is there objection to the question? Hearing no objection, we're voting on House Bill 317, moving to the next available calendar, state and local government. Madam Clerk, open the voting board. Members, please cast your vote. Has every member voted? Does any member wish to change their vote? Madam Clerk, take the vote.
Mr. Chairman, you have 7 ayes and 0 noes.
The ayes prevail. House Bill 317 moves to the next available calendar, state and local government. Next bill on our calendar is House Bill 219 by Chairman Reedy. We have a motion and a second. Chairman Reedy, you're recognized on House Bill 219, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. There was a technical correction with an amendment drafting code 3805.
Is there a motion on Amendment 3805? Chairman Reedy, you're recognized on Amendment 3805 for an explanation.
And of course, that technical correction was just authorizing the Attorney General to seek and collect a civil penalty of up to 25%.
Okay, you heard the explanation. The members ready to vote on the amendment. All in favor of Amendment 3805, say aye. Opposed, say no. The ayes prevail. Bill's amended. You're now recognized on
Okay.
House Bill 219 as amended.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman and committee. This bill requires foreign persons, businesses, and governments who report to the USDA, the Agriculture Land Investment, to the United States Department of Agriculture under the Agriculture Foreign Investment Disclosure Act of 1978 to also file a copy with the Commissioner of Department of Agriculture, and it directs the Commissioner to notify the Attorney General's Office of non-compliance. Mr. Chairman.
Members, you've heard the explanation. Do we have questions? Comments? Is there objection to the question? Hearing no objection, we are voting on House Bill 219 as amended. All in favor, please, Madam Clerk, please open the voting rolls. Will every member vote? Has every member voted? Does any member wish to change their vote? Madam Clerk, take the vote.
Mr. Chairman, you have 5 ayes and 0 noes.
The ayes prevail. House Bill 219 as amended moves forward to the next available calendar, state and local government. The chair asks unanimous consent to call up a bill that would roll to the hill. Is there objection? Hearing no objection, we are now taking up 1173 by Chairman Williams. We have a motion and a second. You're in proper posture. You're recognized.
Thank you, Chairman and members. House Bill 1173 was brought to me at the request of my county mayor, Mayor Randy Porter. Currently, the Putnam County Commission and the Putnam County is in the process of relocating our ag event center from downtown to new property that they purchased adjacent to on Tennessee Avenue. In the process of trying to determine and save cost, they were notified that they weren't able to buy a structure using the current formulary. They could buy other equipment through GSA. All this bill does is add those buildings to allow the local municipal government to be able to buy those buildings under the same terms that they do other things currently. That's what this bill does at their request.
Okay, you've heard the explanation. Is there questions for the sponsor? Comments? Is there objection to the question? Hearing no objection, we're voting on House Bill 1173, moving forward to the next available calendar, state and local government. Madam Clerk, open the voting board. Will all members vote? Has every member voted? Does any member wish to change their vote? Madam Clerk, take the vote.
Mr. Chairman, you have 7 ayes and 0 noes.
The ayes prevail. House Bill 1173 moves forward to the next available county, state, and local government. Now we'll go back to our calendar. And we will be hearing House Bill 306 by Vice Chairman Gillespie. Do we have a motion? Second. We have a motion and second. Vice Chairman Gillespie, you're recognized on House Bill 306.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and committee. House Bill 306 will ensure budget integrity for Shelby County charter officers.
Mr. Sponsor, do you
Oh,
have
sorry.
an amendment?
Oh, I'm so sorry. Yes, I do. It's 3612.
Is there a motion on Amendment 3612? We have a motion and a second. Vice Chairman Gillespie, you're recognized on the amendment. If you can.
Thank you so much. This amendment makes the bill. Can we go ahead and add it, or should I discuss it
Explain
first?
the bill, we'll dispose of it. Thank you.
Okay, so what the amendment would do is really make this legislation only applicable to Shelby County. And that's the change that it makes.
And how is that accomplished?
By narrowing who this affects to from a population standpoint.
Okay. Is there questions from the members on the amendment? Hearing none. All in favor of Amendment 3612, say aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes prevail. Amendments on the bill. We're back on House Bill 306 as amended. If you'll please explain the bill, sir.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman and committee. Again, what this bill does is it ensures budget integrity for Shelby County charter officers. It will restore financial stability and accountability to the offices of the sheriff, trustee, register of deeds, county clerk, and property assessor in Shelby County. Again, this only applies to those officers in Shelby County. Basically, where this is coming from, for years, there have been issues between the county commission and the mayor's office and the different constitutional or charter officers. We have a county commission, or excuse me, we have a county charter that defines the duties of these offices and how their budgets are put together. And that is what this is fixing. We're trying to make this process whole again. And I can certainly talk a lot more about this if you need me to. But right now, I just ask for your questions and renew my motion.
Okay. So I'm clear. This is the bill as amended that addresses the duties of the charter officers, or is this the bill that for the budget?
Budget, yes, sir.
Okay. So Representative
And
Dixie.
the budget process, how those offices are funded.
Thank you for the explanation. Representative Dixie, you are recognized on the bill as amended.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So could you explain what the current process is and then what will be the process after this?
Vice Chairman Gillespie.
Oh, the current process, I hated to do this, but can we have some people that can really speak in a lot more detail with that? And I know they're on the list. Would it be okay to have some of my county commissioners come up here and answer that question?
Would you like to select one?
Oh, I don't know. Oh,
Okay, if you'll come forward, please, ma'am, and have a seat at the table, please. Or we'll go out of session. Now if you'll please, for the record, state your name and who you're with, and then we'll move to the question.
Alicia Lindsay. I'm Chief Administrative Officer for the Shelby County Sheriff's Office in Memphis, Tennessee.
Okay, thank you. Now, you heard the question that was put to the sponsor. Can you give us a clear answer, please.
So the question from Representative Dixie was, what is the current process? So the current process is that all the elected officials submit their budget proposals to the mayor's administration. The mayor's administration can then decide what it wants to include in the proposed budget. So the Board of Commissioners may not always see what the elected officials have presented for inclusion in the proposed budget. And this bill will ensure that the elected officials' budgets go directly to the legislative body for consideration.
So Representative Dixie, you're recognized.
Okay, I understand much better now. So it's not that you will submit the budget directly to the commission, and it's only for consideration, not saying that it may have to change, or if it changes, how would that work? If they're saying, let's say the first budget, just for easy numbers, is $10 million. They say, well, because of whatever's going on, we can only afford to do $8 million. What happens at that point?
Ms. Lindsay, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So in that case, that would be more palatable to us because it would be the legislative body making the decision of what's included in the budget versus another elected official such as the mayor.
Representative Dixie.
Got it. I understand now where it's the dynamic. Okay, thank you.
Representative Mitchell, you're recognized.
Yeah, is it the mayor's duty to present a budget to the county commission?
The charter requires that all elected officials present their proposed budget to the mayor. So that is one of his duties, to provide a consolidated budget to the county commission. That is one of the current duties as a charter office of the mayor.
Representative Mitchell.
And then at the end of the day, the purse strings are controlled by the legislature. So that would be your county commission. And at the end of the day, if they want to go around the mayor and fund a different way, or cut even more, or give you even more, it's their prerogative.
Ms.
But-
Lindsay. I'm sorry, Representative Mitchell. Ms. Lindsay.
Thank you, Representative Mitchell, for that question. That is an excellent question. So in our adopted budget resolution, I don't know if you ever look at any of the legislation that goes on in Shelby County, but there is a be it further resolved clause that allows the mayor's administration to add restrictions to any budget. And so over the last 3 years, the restriction on salaries for the Shelby County Sheriff's Office has been about $100 million. In fact, the current year is about $48.8 million. And the commission was not aware of those changes. So this is what we're trying to ensure budget integrity in Shelby County.
Representative Mitchell, you're recognized.
But at the end of the day, if the revenue is not there to do it, is the mayor going to be the one who has to propose a means of revenue increase, i.e. a tax increase somehow? Or is it going to be these department heads?
Ms. Lindsay.
Alicia Lindsay, I think it would be the mayor or the county commission that could propose a property tax increase, and that's a great question. There hasn't been a tax increase in Shelby County in over 20 years. In fact, there's been a decrease in property tax.
Representative Mitchell. Representative Wright, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So the question that I see then being raised in plain English in the what's in front of us, the offices of sheriff, register, county clerk, assessor of property, and trustee are named individually and discreetly. Is the administrative office of the mayor, is that somewhere else and it will not be affected, in that the mayor would be submitting his administrative budget directly to county commission?
Ms. Lindsay, you're recognized.
Yes, the charter requires the mayor to present a budget by April 20th each year. So yes, sir.
Vice Chairman Wright.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Any other questions of Ms. Lindsay before we go back into session? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
We are back into session.
Thank you.
And we're on House Bill 306 as amended.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I renew my motion.
Is there objection to the question, gentlemen? Is there objection to the question? Hearing no objection, we're voting on House Bill 306 as amended. Madam Clerk, open the voting board. Members, cast your vote. Has every member voted? Does any member wish to change their vote? Madam Clerk, take the vote.
Mr. Chairman, you have 5 ayes and 2 noes.
The ayes prevail. House Bill 306 moves to the next available calendar of state and local government. The next bill we have on the calendar is House Bill 307 by Vice Chairman Gillespie. We have a motion. Is there a second? Second. We have a motion and a second. Vice Chairman Gillespie, you're recognized on House Bill 307, and I believe you have an amendment.
Yes, sir. Thank you. It's 3613.
Is there a motion on amendment? We have a motion and I hear a second? Second. We have a motion and a second on amendment 3613, and you're recognized for an explanation.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chair and committee. What this amendment does is essentially, there was some cleanup language that the sheriff asked me to do. This is talking about the duties of certain charter officers, including the sheriff. And there is just a section in there in the language before that included school security. And right now we have MOUs that handle that, and it just isn't relevant. And so we deleted that part.
You've heard the explanation of the amendment. Are there questions or comments on the amendment? Is there objection to the question? Hearing no objection, we are voting on amendment 3613. All in favor say aye. Opposed say no. The ayes prevail. And we're back on House Bill 307 as amended.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. House Bill 307 is a critical step in restoring the rights and privileges the Shelby County Sheriff and other constitutional charter officers once held before the County Commission stripped them away in 2008. These changes made when the Shelby County Commission rewrote the Home Rule Charter not only removed key privileges such as salary petitions, but also renamed these officers in a way that no longer aligned with state law. With that, I can answer any questions or go into more detail that y'all would require.
Members, you've heard the explanation. Are there questions? Comments? Is there objection to the question? Hearing no objection, we are voting on House Bill 307 as amended. Madam Clerk, open the voting board. Members, please cast your vote. Has every member voted? Does any member wish to change their vote? Madam Clerk, take the vote.
Mr. Chairman, you have 5 ayes and 1 no.
The ayes prevail. House Bill 307 as amended moves to the next available calendar of state and local government. The final bill on the Gillespie calendar is House Bill 308. Is there a motion on 308? We have a motion. I hear a second. Second. We have a motion and a second on House Bill 308. You're recognized, Mr. Sponsor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and Committee. And I also have an amendment on this one, 3787.
Is there a motion on amendment 3787? Motion. We have a motion and a second on amendment 3787. You're recognized on the amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Committee. What this amendment does, it was brought to me by, I believe, the Department of Revenue. It involves a tax, and their computer system needed more time to be able to accommodate the needs of this legislation, and it just gives some extra time for the effective date, is my understanding of it.
Okay, is there questions or comments on the amendment 3787? Hearing none, all in favor of the amendment say aye. Aye. Opposed say no. The ayes prevail and the amendment's on. Now, sponsor, please explain House Bill 308 as amended.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman and committee. What this bill would do, it was authorize the citizens of Shelby County and only Shelby County to vote on a referendum to increase their local options for the sales tax by resolution to construct a new jail in Shelby County. Our jail is beyond falling apart. There are inmates that are dying weekly. There are lawsuits, and this need is not going away, and it's getting more and more expensive every day. And this, in my belief, is the best option for the citizens and the least costly and least permanent option to meet that goal, to allow the citizens of Shelby County to decide for themselves if they want to raise this money, and if so, it will be used to build a new jail. With that, I welcome any questions.
Questions from the members. Representative Mitchell, you're recognized, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. How many years is it estimated that this sales tax will be increased?
Vice Chairman Gillespie.
Thank you. The tax increase will be in effect for a maximum of 8 years or until the debt is repaid, whichever comes first. And that is in the language of the referendum.
Okay.
Representative Mitchell.
Sales tax is the most regressive form of taxation that you could do. I think most counties use property taxes, bond these jails out of the property, against the property taxes. What would be the sales tax rate in Shelby County for their citizens?
Mr. Sponsor.
Thank you. So the local option would go to 3.75%.
Representative Mitchell.
So what would the total sales tax, if I go in to buy a TV, am I paying 9.75 or what?
Sponsor.
Thank you. I want to make sure I've got a lot of numbers on this page. I want to make sure I give you the exact quote number. I believe it's 10 even. 10.75.
Representative Mitchell.
10.75, almost 11%. All righty. Thank you.
Representative Dixie, you're recognized on House Bill 308.
Is this only pertains just to building a jail? Does this have any provisions for schools? Or because I, to my understanding, that you have several schools in that area that in Shelby County that needs infrastructure and repairs and capital repairs. So if this is not included and this is how you pay for infrastructure or capital improvements, is it safe to say that it's not off the table that you will propose another tax to pay for those?
Vice Chairman Gillespie.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would say that the sheriff and the county brought this bill or asked me to carry this legislation. The focus here is on the jail and all the issues that we have. There are other things that we've recently done addressing schools, building a couple new schools, some infrastructure, aging infrastructure needs. I believe that's a completely different tax that's even more controversial. That
Mr. Sponsor, let's stay on the bill. Okay. Representative Dixie.
Oh, you answered my question. That's almost 11% is a pretty huge hefty tax to pay, but that's all I had. That's my question. I just want to know if it only included prisons or is it had some other funding.
Any other questions? You're recognized, Chairman Littleton.
Thank you. How long will it take to pay the jail off? Or do you know?
Vice Chair Gillespie.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So this has a hard sunset of 8 years. We've gotten a couple of different quotes, or I don't know if quote is the right word, but we've gotten a couple different, I'm not a contractor, but estimates or whatever. And this would provide the funds that we believe would be needed to build the jail that would be is what we needed. I don't know if that answers your question.
Chair Lady Littleton.
Does it allow for inflation? Because we know if you wait a year, you know what it costs you. So,
Mr. Sponsor.
it's thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's my understanding that this would provide enough revenue to cover even some of the more abstract building increases.
Chair Lady Littleton.
So after the jail is built and paid for, does it sunset and that extra tax just goes away?
Yes,
It's
Ms.
whichever
Sponsor.
comes, I'm sorry, it's whichever comes first. So if the jail is built first, the tax goes away. If it comes 8 years, the tax goes away.
Okay.
But
Thank you.
we think we can build it in less than 8 years.
Thank you.
Thank you. Representative Dixie.
For clarification, you said build it in 8 years. I just want to make sure that I think that you meant it would be paid for
Right.
in,
Yeah.
okay.
Vice Chairman Wright, you're recognized.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think we've seen this bill in years gone by. And it could be that I was the only person that maybe said I would vote for it in years gone by. This particular bringing forth of the bill did not include the word referring to a referendum. The word that's actually used is in an election. So I view this as only a request of the sponsor to say that they be allowed to increase their sales tax if they want to. We're not mandating this. This is entirely a question of us giving permission, and the choice about doing this is up to those that would be involved in this election. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
And to the sponsor, I believe you've even cited in your amendment the part of TCA that tells your jurisdiction how to carry out that referendum, if I'm not mistaken.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yes, I did leave that out. I do apologize when I was explaining the amendment. We did clean that up. So
It's clearly stated for the record, referendum.
yes.
Thank you. Chairman Crawford, you're recognized, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm looking through the bill here and I see the bill is going, you're adding 275, is that correct?
Sponsor.
To bring that up to the 10.75?
Well, we would be, thank you, Mr. Chairman. We would be bringing the local option to a total of 3.75%, which as including the state brings that 10.75 number.
Can you tell me, I see you've got some projections here that's listed on the fiscal summary here of 114,997, 500 million, then 229,994, 900. What is the total with all this? What is the total of your estimated tax revenues that you're going to generate off of 8 years of this tax rate?
Mr. Sponsor.
Thank you, Mr.
You do have someone with you today that's,
I do.
are they prepared to speak to this issue, the schedule of revenue and expense?
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I thought this number that I was about to give you was in the fiscal note, but I'm looking at it and the total is not there. So you're asking for the total amount that we plan to raise off of this?
I'm
Chairman
talking.
Crawford.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I apologize. I'm talking about the total amount you expect to raise in revenues off of increasing the taxes on the people.
Sponsor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I believe, I don't have that total number in front of me, but I believe it's a little over $1 billion.
Chairman Crawford.
Okay. If you could get that number and get it to the chairman, he could pass it out to the committee. I'd greatly appreciate it. Thank you.
You can do that.
Okay. Representative Mitchell, you're recognized.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. And just for clarification, this, you keep referring to county, but it will be county as well as the city is part of the county. So it'll be city limits and the county as well?
Mr. Sponsor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Shelby County Jail is responsible for all inmates. If you're arrested in unincorporated county, downtown Memphis, the Mississippi River, anywhere, you're going to 201 Poplar.
Representative Mitchell.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. And committee, we're, like you said, we may be voting to give them the right to have this referendum, but we're also, there's a state portion of the sales tax as well, and they're on the border of two states. And the seepage out of the state of Tennessee, when you raise it to 11% in Shelby County, there's going to be DeSoto County is like, thank you very much. And West Memphis, Arkansas is thank you, because there's going to be a lot of traffic going to the grocery store.
Vice Chairman Gillespie.
I don't have any control over those municipalities.
Seeing no one else on the list, is there objection to the question? Hearing no objection, Madam Clerk, open the voting rolls. We are voting on House Bill 308 as amended, moving to the next available calendar of state and local government. Has every member voted? Does any member wish to change their vote? Madam Clerk, take the vote.
Mr. Chairman, you have 3 ayes, 2 noes, and 2 present not voting.
The ayes prevail. House Bill 308 moves to the next available calendar of state and local government. Now, our next bill is House Bill 140 by the new representative of the 20th District of the great state of Tennessee, Representative Stinnett. Do we have a motion? Yes, sir.
I'm just wondering, didn't it have to be a majority of the members
present.
voting?
Members present and voting. A majority of the members present and voting, not of the quorum, sir. Thank you. Yeah. Back to, we need a motion and a second on House Bill 140. We do have a motion and a second. And Representative Stinnett, you're recognized on House Bill 140. Now,
good afternoon. Thank you, Chairman.
Wait a minute, we've been interrupted here. Representative Butler, you're recognized.
Oh.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I make a motion, we roll this one slot.
Without objection, hearing no objection, we roll one space. Next bill on the calendar is House Bill 1069 by Representative Glenn. He asked that this bill be rolled 2 weeks. Without objection, House Bill 1069 is rolled 2 weeks. Representative Stinnett? We do already have a motion and a second. Thank you. If you will please explain House Bill 140.
I'll start again. Good afternoon, Chairman Moon. Thank you.
On the bill, sir.
So 140. This is about human resource audits and the Comptroller's Office. If you go back in 1973, somehow there's been 9 human resource agencies that's got left out of the process that's being used today. Today, if a auditor sends his paperwork in and he immediately gets paid, and then they, yes, sir.
One moment. What if the auditor is a she?
He or she?
That's better. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So anyway, they get it paid immediately. And so, but we have 9 HRAs that if they send their paperwork in, the comptrollers by rule, by law, has to complete checking their work and okaying the audit before they get paid. So with that being said, this bill is to streamline the comptroller's job, and it will move the requirement of the comptroller's office and improve the HRA's audits the same as they do most of the audits that all the audits that they receive every day. Yes.
I think Representative Butler, you're recognized on the bill, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm very, very confused now. He said a rule and a law. So, Mr. Sponsor, can you clarify whether it is a rule or whether it is a law?
If,
Excuse me,
Chairman,
you're recognized.
Representative, it is a law. It
Representative
is
Butler.
just to make sure that we don't, it is Title 1326 106B.
Representative Butler.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Can you define for me what streamline is? I mean, you use the term streamline, so can you tell us what streamline really is?
Well,
Representative Stinnett, you're
yes,
recognized.
sir, Chairman. Representative, streamline is sort of like, I've been sitting over here for a few minutes, and as soon as I get finished, I'm going to run to the boys' room. And streamline means I'm going to go the one right straight across the hall. Non-streamline would be going upstairs.
Vice Chairman
Straight
Wright,
path.
you're recognized. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. While we're studying this streamlined, I would move that we roll this bill one spot. Without objection, roll one spot. Next bill on our calendar is House Bill 1380 by Representative Harris. He's contacted the office and this bill is off notice. Now we're back on House Bill 140 by Representative Stinnett. And I believe Representative Butler was requesting the floor, so you recognize Representative Butler.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm not sure the streamline that he was describing is really an effective means. And it sounded like, Mr. Chairman, that he was complaining about the amount of time he had to wait to present his bill before this committee to me. We don't have anywhere else to roll it. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Chair Lady Littleton, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
On the bill.
Yeah, I'm not touching that streamline. So I want to know how you lose 7 departments.
Well,
Representative Stinnett,
yes, sir.
Was it
Thank
9?
you.
you're
9
recognized for an
departments.
answer.
There was 9 of them. And when I talked to the comptroller's office, they have no earthly idea.
Chair Lady Littleton, you're recognized.
So how did they find those 9 departments?
Representative Stinnett, you're recognized.
Because
Or do you
every-
wish to phone a friend?
I'm good.
You're recognized.
Thank you, sir. They have to every year complete these audits. So they know by law that they've been doing it over the years since 73. So they have to complete the audits and okay the paperwork, and then they send the check out. Everyone else that they audit, as soon as the paperwork comes in, they send a check out.
Chair Lady Littleton.
I wasn't asking about a paycheck. I was asking how they realized that they've lost 9 departments and how they found them back. How do they even know to look for them?
Representative Stinnett.
Because every year they have to do this. When those 9 come in, they have to process them before they send the check out.
Chair Lady
So
Littleton.
that's the reason they know about them, because they have to.
Chair Lady Littleton.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. How long have they been without a paycheck or a check?
Representative Stinnett.
They get paid every year. They just get paid. It takes them a few months before they get paid because they have to wait on the comptroller's office to do the processing.
Chair Lady Littleton.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm still a little confused how they just out of the blue realized they owe somebody a check this year, but they didn't know it last year or the year before.
Representative Stinnett.
Since 1973, they've
Oh,
been,
my.
since 1973, they've been using this process. These
Mhm.
9 agencies have been having to wait on their check.
Chair Lady Littleton.
Since 1973?
Representative Stinnett.
Yes.
Goodness. All right. I think I'm confused. But anyway, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Any other questions for our sponsor? With that, is there objection to the question? We have objection. So is there a motion? Chairman Crawford, you recognize.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I was going to ask a question, but I've never been so confused on a comptroller bill in my life. I did see one part in here that was concerning to me, that under the summary, it was talking about present law authorizes the chief elected public officials of various counties and cities of the economic development district established under the development district of 1965. I was just wondering who would be that individual person, especially if they were in place in 1965.
Mr. Sponsor, you have a question before you.
I have no idea. I was 10 years old.
Members, I believe we have someone here from the comptroller's office, and we'd like to go out of session and have a question answered and give us a little information. So without objection, we're out of session. And we have numerous people signed up from the comptroller's office. So if you'll come to the table and please give us your name and your title.
Hello, I'm Caroline Grassi, the Legislative Director for the Comptroller's Office. Could you repeat the question about the summary? I don't have that language in my summary.
One moment.
Okay.
Chairman Crawford, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I was just wondering who the public elected official that this was being reported to in 1965.
You're recognized.
I'm not sure I have that language in my bill summary.
Oh, okay.
Chairman Crawford.
Well, I hope this thing passes because everybody's so confused. I don't know if it's going to pass or not. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Chairman Crawford. Ms. Grassley, can you add some clarity to this legislation?
Sure. So current law requires our office to approve Human Resource Agency's audits and working papers prepared by independent public accountants before the accountant is paid. And that is not consistent with how other contract auditors are paid in our office. So this bill would just allow us to pay the auditors when the audit is complete, and we will still review all of the audits, just we won't hold up payment for them.
Thank you very much.
Great.
Any questions or comments while we're out of session? Vice Chairman Wright, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think that the committee should be satisfied with the answer.
Move previous question.
We are now back in session. Thank you.
Thank you.
We're back on the bill, our sponsor, and Representative Butler is dying to have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I find it very odd that we need to have testimony on a comptroller bill from this representative. So it gives me great concern for that need in this situation. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Any other questions or comments? Is there objection to the question? Hearing none, we are voting on House Bill 140, as soon as possible. Madam Clerk, open the voting board. Will all members please cast their vote? Has every member voted? Does any member wish to change their vote? Madam Clerk, take the vote.
Mr. Chairman, you have 7 ayes and 0 noes.
The ayes prevail, and House Bill 140 does move forward to next available calendar, state and local government. Representative Mitchell, you're recognized. That completes our calendar for today.
Mr. Chair, we just had an audience member out there, Representative Ashley. I think he was enjoying that way too much.
That comes under announcements. Thank you, Representative Mitchell. Is there any other business to come before us? Hearing none, without objection, we'll stand adjourned. Hearing no objection, we are adjourned.